I was able to lose 70 pounds and I was able to achieve my dream physique with this exact method I am about to show you guys. Today in this video, I'm going to show you the exact method I use to get abs, lose fat, and finally build that aesthetic body I was chasing. And exactly what you should start implementing today if you want to lose fat, build muscle, and get abs in a couple months. Now, before I go on explaining the method you should start implementing, I want to go over quickly what my transformation was, just so you can have an idea, because why would you listen to a random 20-year-old online? All right, this was me at around 210 pounds. I mean, as you could tell, it's pretty noticeable in my face. I had a pretty circular face growing up, with my cheeks being really full of fat, and I hated it. As you can see right here, this is me with a double chin. This picture gets me all the time because I'm trying to hide my fat with this baggy long sleeve shirt, but in reality, you could still see my man boobs. You could still see how boxy my build was, right? And you could also see how fat my face was. My cheeks were just puffy. I had no cheekbones. I had no jawline. In reality, I did not want to get my picture taken. I don't know if you could tell from just this picture. I was caught off guard and look what I was eating. I mean, I was eating freaking, I think they're called cheesecake bites. I was just eating something extremely fat. And this is how my physique looked like when I was like at my peak fatness, right? This was when I was around 200 to 215 pounds, give or take. And I mean, it's pretty noticeable, right? I have a big belly. I have love handles, right? I have no muscle definition in my arms, man boobs. I mean, if you just look at my build, I was just full of fat. Right, I had no muscle at all, and I mean, you could tell from that face, I was not confident with the way I look and felt. And this was me after I lost a bit of fat, but I ended up being in the skinny fat stage. And when you're in the skinny fat stage, you don't know if you're overweight, if you need a cut, you don't know if you're, don't have enough muscles and you need a bulk. And what I did here was a body recomp. If you want to know how to do a body recomp, I did a full video explaining exactly how I was able to do it. If you want to check it out, I'll have it down below. So yeah, that was me when I was 210 pounds. I was unconfident, didn't like the way I looked, didn't like the way I felt, and it was pretty noticeable in all the pictures that I took. Fast forward 70 pounds, I was finally able to get my dream physique. I was finally confident the way I looked. I felt confident. I felt, my testosterone was higher than what it was at 210 pounds, and I felt 10 times better. I mean, as you could see here, I have abs and they're visibly popping out, right? I have a nice V-taper look. Right here, my jawline is more prominent. I have cheekbones, jawline is more prominent, and I'm more confident in taking photos, right? I'm not hiding anymore like I did when I was 210 pounds. And this is my physique now, right? I have a nice V-taper look. I have broad shoulders, nice chest, and my abs are pretty noticeable, right? And I would say my main point of my physique is definitely my chest. Like, that's my favorite thing. Nice V-taper look, striations on the shoulders, striations on the chest. I have abs. Overall, if you ask me, this transformation is great. And from going to 210 to 150, you feel 100 times better. You look 100 times better, and your confidence is 1,000, 1 million times better. And in this exact video, I'm gonna show you guys the method I implemented when I was 210 pounds to go to 150 pounds. And the first thing you guys should do right now is calculate your calories to know how much you're supposed to eat in order to be in a calorie deficit. And how you do that is you search online, literally calorie calculator, and a calorie calculator will pop up. It's called a TDEE calculator. I'll have this one linked down below if you want to use this particular calculator. And all you have to do is implement your information. So your age, your gender, your height, your weight, activity level. I like to keep it at little to no exercise, because let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you're probably not as active, probably just sitting down all day. So try to be as honest as possible. If you have a high demanding job, maybe you are walking every single time, you're lifting stuff every single time, then I would go for maybe exercise 1 to 3 times a week. So once you input your information, you press calculate, and from there, it's gonna tell you the amount of calories you need to eat in order to lose 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, or 0.5 pounds a week. And make sure you're under where it says energy intake to lose weight, not energy intake to gain weight, because I'm guessing if you clicked on this video, you want to lose weight, you want to lose fat, you want to get abs, you want to build muscle. And then we look for whichever one that says 1 pound a week, or if you want to go on a more aggressive cut, sometimes it gives you an option of 2 pounds a week. And that's how much calories you're supposed to be eating every single day in order to lose 1 pound a week. Now for everyone, the numbers may vary. It varies on your height, weight, age, gender, all that. All those are factors. That's why you should go online, search up a TDEE calculator and input all your information. So once you have your calories, you want to start tracking your calories. And this is where a lot of people mess up on. And a lot of people overlook it. A lot of people start guessing, and that's not the way to go. So in order to track your calories, first of all, you need to invest in a food scale. Why should you invest in a food scale? Because let's say you buy chicken and you want to eat a certain amount of chicken and you have 500 calories left. Without a food scale, you grab whatever amount of chicken that's there. You don't put it on the food scale and you go on MyFitnessPal and you say you're eating chicken, and then let's say you put, I'm eating 200 grams of chicken, but in reality you're eating double the amount of chicken, right? That's why you should invest in a food scale. That should be the first thing you invest when you're starting your fitness journey. And MyFitnessPal is free. There's so many other calorie tracking apps that are free. From there, weigh your food. For example, chicken, 400 grams of chicken. You go into MyFitnessPal, you go on their database and you search up chicken, whether it's chicken breast or chicken thigh, and you put that you're eating 400 grams of chicken. And then from there, it's gonna give you the amount of calories that are in those 400 grams of chicken. Now make sure if you're cooking, also track the cooking oil as well and all the other sides that you have. And let's say, for example, 400 grams of chicken is around, I have no idea, let's say it's around 400 calories. You have 100 calories left throughout the day, right, to eat what you want. You always look at the number of calories you have left throughout the day. Don't go over it. For example, if you're only supposed to eat 1,886, don't go over 1,886. Obviously, there's going to be some days where you do go over and that's a mistake, but that's fine, right? Consistency over perfection. For humans, there's going to be some days where we just eat more than usual, and that's completely fine. You don't do anything different. You go back to your usual plan. So yeah, that would pretty much be the first thing I would do. I would calculate my calories, know how much I'm supposed to be eating a day in order to lose 1 pound, and start tracking my calories. I would invest in a food scale, and I would download a tracking app, a calorie tracking app like MyFitnessPal, CalAI, or Chronometer, or Macro Factor. There's so many apps out there that have free versions, so you don't really have to invest in a premium option. Okay, so once you have that idea of tracking your calories and calculating your calories, you have to understand that your calories do matter depending where they come from. I always preach about prioritizing whole foods, because whole foods are natural, single ingredient, and those are foods that actually fuel you, right? Nothing like McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. It's okay to have those 20% of the time, 10% of the time, but the other 80-90, prioritize whole foods. And that's why I said prioritize whole foods. I didn't say eat only whole foods. No, because 80% to 90% of the time, I want you to prioritize whole foods, right? This would be ground beef, sourdough bread, avocado, eggs, kiwi, banana, steak, avocado, eggs, right? All these are whole foods, and I want you to eat them 80-90% of the time. Make sure you're still tracking those foods, because regardless of how healthy the food is, if you're still eating more than the dedicated amount of calories you're supposed to be eating in order to lose 1 pound a week, you're not going to lose 1 pound a week. So make sure you're still tracking those foods that you're eating. Keep it whole foods, like I said, 80-90% of the time, and the other 10% of the time, you could enjoy your favorite foods. Now make sure the other 10-20% is something quality, right? Like this tiramisu. I think it was like 30 bucks. It tasted amazing. Or like these cinnamon pancakes. So good. I think these were fresh, homemade. They were so good. Make sure your 20 and 10% are actually quality foods, right? You don't want to waste your 10-20% on something like McDonald's. If you love McDonald's for some reason, then go ahead, by all means. But make sure the 10 and 20% are still being tracked. Everything has to be tracked, right? And same goes for the whole foods. This has to be tracked. Regardless if it's healthy, it still has calories. And the same thing goes with unhealthy foods. It still has calories. Now, realistically, you could go a whole day, whole week whole month eating junk food and still lose weight if you're tracking your calories and you're staying under that calorie goal. But you're just gonna feel like garbage. How do I know? Because I did that once before. I had abs, but I ate junk food most of the time. And I felt like complete garbage, destroyed my metabolism, and my energy was all over the place. So stick to whole foods because that's where real fuel comes from. Next, we should start implementing 8 to 10,000 steps every single day. 5K minimum. Minimal. That's minimal. That's bare minimal. And I'll get into why I want you to aim for that such high of a number. Okay, so if you notice here, I have a man walking, obviously, and I have a greater than arrow, and I have pizza. What does that mean? What does that mean, Josh? Great question. If you're walking 8 to 10,000 steps every single day, you're walking a lot, that makes more room for food, right? And that could be pizza if you want pizza. The reason why it makes more room for food is because you're burning fat, you're burning calories when you're walking, and it's low effort cardio, right? I mean, I don't see anyone complaining about walking, right? I would see someone complaining about running on a treadmill, going on Stairmaster, intense workout sessions. Yeah, I would see someone complain about that, but not walking, right? Walking is something simple and it's extremely effective. So if you walk more, you make more room for calories because you're burning calories. So therefore, walking more, walking 8 to 10,000 steps is a lot more than the usual average American. The average American walks about 2K steps every single day, if I'm correct. So you don't want to walk 2K steps. You want to be able to walk more than the average American. The average American eats a ton more, but walks less, and that's where they're overweight. So if you want to eat more, if you want more room for calories, aim for 8 to 10,000 steps every single day. Obviously, you still should go by that number that you had in the very beginning, but overall, it's going to help you at the end of the day. Because if you go over that calorie limit just by 100, but you have 8 to 10,000 steps that day, I don't think it's going to kill you. I really don't. So walk more so you could eat more, or so it could help out your calorie deficit. Instead of maybe losing 1 pound every week, if you start implementing 10,000 steps every single day, maybe that 1 pound would turn into 2 pounds, or maybe 1.5 pounds instead of 1 pound. If you have a step tracker like an Apple Watch, or a ring, Ultra Human ring, a Whoop, maybe your phone sometimes if you carry it around with you every single step of the way, but sometimes that's inaccurate. I would invest in Apple Watch or a ring, Whoop, something like that, so you can know how many steps you're walking every single day. Now that we're on the topic of food, let's talk about how to calculate your macros, because that's something that's extremely important. Not many people do. So first macro, protein, right? Protein is extremely important. And to calculate your protein, it's going to be your body weight times 1. Literally that simple. So if you weigh 200 pounds, then 200 grams of protein would be the target that you should be eating every single day. Now for fats, it's a little different. It's going to be your body weight times 0.35. For example, if you weigh 200 pounds, I think that's around 75. That's going to be 75 grams of fat every single day. And I don't want you to miss out on protein and fats. Both of those are extremely important. And both of them actually help you stay full. So if you want to feel full and satisfied after every meal, make sure your meals are packed with protein and fats so you can feel nice and satisfied after the meal. And both of those are extremely important, and I don't want you to miss in any of those. Fats help regulate your hormones. My handwriting is horrible. And protein, I'm sure most of you guys know. Protein helps you build muscle. And the last one is carbs. Carb sources would be fruits, veggies, rice, bread, grains, all of that, right? And to calculate your carbs, you need to get the leftover calories that you have from fats and protein. So 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. And then 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, right? So if you're eating, this is an example of someone that's 200 pounds, right? This number varies person to person. So if you weighed 200 pounds and you calculated your macros, so you would have 200 grams of protein. And we know that 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. We need to multiply your protein intake. So it's, in this case, if you weigh 200 pounds, it's 200 grams times 4, and that would be 800 calories from purely protein. And the same thing goes with fats, but in this case, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So 75 times 9. Gosh, I'm horrible with math. I think it's 630. 630. So you combine your protein, which is 800, plus 630 grams of fat, and you're left with 430, I think, calories. And then from there, this is really complicated, so I want you to grab like a pen and paper for all this, or just make sure you watch back this video. From there, you have 1,430 calories, and you subtract that from your total calorie intake that we calculated in the beginning. In my case, it was 1,886. Subtract that with the number you just calculated from the protein and fats, and that's how much calories you'll have left over, and that would be calories for carbs. And in this case, it's around 430 calories, I think, left for carbs. And for carbs, 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. So you do the math here. If you want to divide 430. So yeah, that's pretty much how you calculate your macros. Like I said, protein and fats are extremely important. Then comes carbs. And if you didn't know, carbs are our energy source. Usually people cut out carbs when they want to go on an aggressive cut. I wouldn't cut off carbs if you're new into your, fat loss journey. There's no reason to cut out carbs. If you want to make room and you're already at your limit for your protein and fat, I would cut out carbs in order to make more space for calories. All right, and the next thing I want you to do is I want you to create a plan, right? Having structure is much better than just running on purely motivation, right? So I want you to create a plan. I'm just gonna run you guys through a nice, simple training and meal plan. So for a training plan, it could look something like this. So for Monday, it's gonna be a rest day. Tuesday, it's gonna be upper body day, right? Wednesday is gonna be lower day. And then Thursday, it's gonna be rest. Friday, it's gonna be upper. Saturday, it's gonna be lower. And then Sunday is going to be active rest day. What do I mean by active rest day? Active rest day would be walking, or, just actively walking throughout the day. That would be an active rest day, right? It's nothing crazy. You don't have to go on a run. You don't have to, go to the gym and go on the treadmill, right? Just you walking around the house, you walking around wherever you're going out to eat, or spending time with the family. That is enough to be an active rest day. And all your other rest days should technically be exactly like that if you're aiming for 8,000 to 10,000 steps. But, sometimes your body just needs some time to, sit down and relax. And then next, meal plan. A simple meal plan would look something like, for breakfast in the morning, you could have 5 eggs, sourdough bread, sourdough, and let's say side of fruit, right? And then for lunch, you could have ground beef and rice. And for dinner, you could have something like salmon, eggs, and veggies. And as a late night snack, maybe you could have like a yogurt bowl with fruit on top, right? But this is just like a pretty basic meal plan. And once you have a meal plan with all the list of foods that you want to eat, list of foods that you enjoy, repeat it every single day, right? And maybe at some point, if you get tired of a certain meal, you could switch it up. That's the beauty about creating your own plan. Maybe you could do small switches too. Like for example, for the fruit on your breakfast, you could have apple, and then the next day you could have a banana, right? Simple switches like that help a lot. I'm not sure if that's how you spell banana. Simple switches like that help a lot. Same thing with the veggies in the dinner, same thing with the fruit and the snack. Those small changes can make a huge difference. And that's what I personally do. So yeah, once you have your training and meal plan, just stay consistent. Stay consistent with it. And maybe if you're not consistent right now, maybe you don't have a training plan. Maybe you don't have a meal plan. create a training and meal plan, and trust me, you're gonna see results 10 times quicker, and you're gonna be way more consistent than what you are right now. All right, and once you have your training plan, I want you to focus on progressively overloading every single week. And what does progressive overload mean? For example, if you do bench press, and week 1, you do bench press, you do, let's say 135 on week 1, you do it for, let's say 7 reps. If you're starting off, 135 for 7 reps is extremely good. So props to you if you do that. And then let's say for the next week, we should be aiming for 8 reps. We should be increasing the reps. And once you hit the target of 12 reps, right? That's the target goal. This is the goal for every single workout. Your goal should be 12 reps. That should be the goal for every single workout, every single lifting movement. It should be 12 reps. Once you hit the target of hitting 12 reps, let's say on 135 on bench press, you stop doing 135, you beat that level, you pass that level, and you move on to the next level, which is 145, right? Or 150 if you want to challenge yourself. That's a big jump for a bench press. But that's the point of you going to the gym, finding out what amount of weight you're comfortable but also uncomfortable in doing. And from there, once you go to 145 pounds, 150 pounds, week 1, you do five reps. I'm sure you get the gist of it. On week 2, I want you to aim for 6 or 7 reps, okay? Same thing goes for squat, 225. In a couple weeks, once you hit 12 reps, you go for 235. And the same thing goes for deadlift as well. All right, and once you have all the basics down, everything that I went over is everything you pretty much need in order to transform your body. And you should start implementing right now after you finish watching this video. But a lot of people overlook this. A ton of people overlook recovery. A lot of people overlook recovery, a ton. And why is recovery so important, Josh? Well, because if you don't get proper recovery, you won't build muscle, you'll raise your cortisol levels, which makes it harder to lose fat, and your energy in the gym, in the lifts, in the runs would be horrible. Even in your whole entire day, it would be horrible, it would be down. So I want you to recover properly. How do you recover properly? You aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single day. Try not to go below 7. There are some days where you can go below 7. That's fine. Just don't make it a habit. I go below 7 sometimes, and I could feel it throughout the day. I could feel it during my lift sessions, but I don't let it control me, right? Consistency over perfection, always. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single day. Also implement rest days. For me, they're weekends. I don't go to the gym on weekends, rest days. And then implement deload weeks. What are deload weeks? Deload weeks are exactly as they sound. There's going to be some weeks where your progress is going to be going up, and there's going to be some weeks where it's just stagnant for weeks. And you're probably wondering, what am I doing wrong? You're doing absolutely nothing wrong. It's just your body needs some time to rest and recover. I've had those days. I've had those weeks where my weights didn't go up, my reps didn't go up. I felt tired, unmotivated when I was in the gym. And what you need to do is you need to take a week off, and that's a deload week. And trust me, when you come back after the deload week, your progress is going to go like this, and it's going to start skyrocketing. There's going to be another time, a couple months, usually it's around 3 months, where the same thing happens. And you need to go on a deload week again. Why? Because we're humans. We're not superhumans, right? Our body needs some time to rest and recover. Maybe it needs 1 day. Maybe it needs a whole week, like the deload week. That's literally it. That's literally everything you need to know in order to make a similar transformation like I did, like this one. There's no secret formula to it. Just sometimes people don't create a plan. Sometimes people kind of wing it, and they wonder why they're not seeing results. Start implementing everything that I just mentioned in this video. There's no particular order, except for calories. That should be the first thing you should know. And from there, start implementing all these one by one. And trust me, you will see results, like the results I had. Now, if you finish watching this video and you're still kind of confused, right? You did all these things already. You've implemented all these things already. And for some reason, you're not seeing results. I'll have a link down below. You could fill out that link and we could have a video chat exactly like this. We could go over what you're doing. If you're doing something wrong, maybe we could talk about what I could do to help you fix it. And at the end, we'll see if we're a good fit to work with each other, if I could help you out. If not, I'll put you at the right direction. I'll also have my Instagram link down below. I post daily on there. I post daily tips. And if you want to keep on learning, just follow my YouTube channel. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment down below what topic you want me to touch on next. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.